Hello, and welcome to another edition of Crowd Supply Taking Stuff Apart. This is the ORWL computer, which will be launching soon. Very satisfying. It's nice and heavy. It's a nice glass enclosure with these 4 clamps around it, as you can see. This is the one that works, and I have one that doesn't work that I completely took apart. These are early prototypes, but the actual physical part of it is essentially what we'll ship. Let me just show you quickly. There are these 4 clamps, and one of them says ORWL on it nicely. There's a power button under that, and then each of the other 3 has a little port there for micro HDMI or USB or USB again. And one of those USBs, I believe, is the power. I haven't played with it extensively enough to say for sure. Then underneath this glass, there is there's a small LCD, which is part of the security piece of it. Obviously, it's not the LCD you use day to day, but it is the LCD you use for authentication and putting your key up to it. So let's take a look what's happening down below here. This massacre. This was disassembled with just some tweezers and a single Torx driver. And here we have it. So there's a bunch of parts here. This is the main board, obviously, with some antennas, with some hard drive, or SSD rather. So you can see some rework. This is, like I said, this is a prototype. But note these pads here and here. I believe those are the connection pads to this shell. And you can see on this shell these connection pads here. Now this is a specially formulated shell, specially manufactured shell. If you get really up close, you can kind of see a grid pattern on it in here, and the gold here as well. The plastic is designed to be super brittle, and the gold on it is very thin, and so it's very easy to break this continuous trace, and this continuous trace is actively pulsed by a controller on here, a security controller on here, and if any of the traces are broken, it burns the private key, which is stored securely on this device, and it becomes basically a paperweight until you boot it up again. Right? You can completely reflash it and start from scratch, but you would lose all the data on it. And that's the physical security part. This is one half, obviously. Here's the other half. They mate and around the device itself. And the interesting thing about this technology is this is not new technology. It's just being repurposed from the credit card industry. This is the sort of technology you'd use in a banking scenario where you're taking transactions for, say, PCIe compliance and applying it instead of to just credit card transactions. You're applying it to all of your computing and all of your data, which makes you wonder why this wasn't done before. So this is a really important aspect of security and privacy. It's the physical part of it. We've been working with that team. You can see this is one half of the glass shell. Here's the other half. Here's a chassis with a sticker NFC tag on it, so there's a key fob that goes with it and helps as part of the authentication process. Bottom half of that chassis, and then a bunch of screws and parts. Here's a battery that goes inside and powers the security module when power isn't directly being applied, so it can actually go for quite a long time being tamper resistant, and then I believe if the battery runs out, it burns the key anyway. So your self-encrypting hard drive is no longer useful, or you no longer can get data from it. So that's that. This will be launching fairly soon. Don't have an exact date yet, but pretty excited. Oh, and these are, of course, the clamps. These are clever little mechanisms. Somebody took a good amount of time to figure this out. There's a little spring steel, looks like, screwed down, and it gives that nice satisfying popping and clicking to the otherwise passive door here. It keeps nicely in place, as you can see. So like I said, this will be launching soon. You can sign up now on the pre-launch page at crowdsupply.com. Just search for ORWL, ORWL. And I'm sure we'll have more interesting shoots to come around this project. Thanks a lot, and as always, feel free to get in touch with any questions. Take care.